Oh, don't. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. We need a verification of posting.
The agendas were posted at City Hall on January 8th at 3 o'clock p.m. and on the city website on January 8th at 3:06 p.m.
Thank you. Next, we have our invocation. Mr. Bud Ritzman is here this evening to pray for us and our community.
Let's all bow together and address the Lord. Father, gracious Heavenly Father, we're so very thankful to be here tonight in this act of governance that's vitally important to you, referenced and outlined in both the Old and the New Testaments. Father, I just ask that we can keep in mind that this act of governance is done really with the benefit of relationships for everyone involved, those leading and those following, Father. The relationships are at the key heart of what we're doing here tonight and should be at the key and heart of all of our thinking and doing throughout the day. Father, and I pray also, and I fully realize there are people present tonight in this meeting who really do not understand the value of your presence here. And that saddens me, but Father, I do pray that your presence be mighty, not only in this meeting, but in the lives of everybody here, Father, that you be presence, your vision, and what you can help accomplish with these folks tonight, serving everyone that's involved. We thank you for your love. We thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus, and his death on the cross for our transgressions. We pray this in Jesus' precious name for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, son. Next, we have our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Next, we have approval of minutes from a previous meeting, and it would just be our regular meeting that was held December 9th, 2025.
I move we accept the minutes from the regular December 9th meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have a public comment period. Okay. Let's set them right here and I'll just go through them.
She'll be speaking for
Oh, okay, I understand. All right, Miss Angela Orr. Let me start by saying public comments are for 3 minutes. We're not able to respond back, but we're here to hear what our citizenry has to say.
All right,
Ms.
thank
Orr,
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will not take 3 minutes, but I appreciate that. My name is Angela Orr, and I am your state representative. And I want to thank you for what you do. I got my start on the school board in Itasca, and I also served in countywide elected office before I was elected to the state house. So local government is one of my loves and one of my specialties. I represent 7 counties, about 200,000 people. Bosque, Hill, Limestone, Freestone, Falls, Leon, and the eastern portion of McLennan County. And across those 7 counties, I also represent 41 ISDs and 50 cities, much like yours. So if you can imagine 50 city council meetings every few weeks. Also represent a lot of volunteer fire departments, a lot of chamber of commerce, a lot of churches. Too few rural hospitals, in my opinion, although you have one of the best. Lots of small businesses and lots of hardworking Texans. But I just want you to know that I will stick around after the meeting in case you have any individual conversations that you'd like to have. Always welcome input on what's going on. I do have a newsletter that I put out every week just to keep people updated on what's going on throughout the district. And during session, of course, we talk about legislative things that go on that might affect you in your hometown. So anyway, it's nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative DeVore. Next, we have Al Poteet. Come up and share with us.
Good evening, Mayor Neely and members of the City Council. My name is Al Poteet. My purpose here tonight is to simply introduce myself formally. I'm running for Bosque County Judge. Early voting starts, as you may know, February 17th, closes on the 27th, and the primary election for the Republican Party is March 3rd. I just wanted to give you a little background where I come from and my life experiences. My dad was born and raised he was born in Hillsborough and grew up in Cleburne before he went off to World War II. He made a mistake of going with a friend who wanted him to take a test with him. They got on board ship, they were called off. My dad was pretty upset. He lost all of his buddies going to fight in the Pacific. He found out, though, that he had scored high enough on the exams he was going to the Naval Academy, where he spent the rest of World War II. My family came to Texas in the 1860s, settled down south of San Antonio, a little town called Poteet. I think they grow some strawberries down there. You might have heard of them. I just want you all to know that when I spoke to Judge Van Lanningham that I was going to run against her, we had a nice meeting, and I made it really clear to her. I said, I'm not running against you because I think you're doing anything wrong. I said, we just have different visions for the future of Bosque County. And so that's kind of where we left it, and we still smile and wave at each other. And she did a really nice job introducing me down at the Meridian Veterans Memorial. So I appreciate that very much. I hope we can continue to talk about issues. My life has been, I spent 20 years moving around with my family, got to meet a lot of new friends and people. You just might imagine how that worked, being the new guy in a new school every 2 years. Anyway, when it came time to grow up and do something, I decided to enlist in the Army, and I ended up in the Warrant Officer program, and I flew Cobra gunships in Vietnam. I had 2 tours. Service disabled veteran, and my life has been kind of charmed. I did everything. After I finished college, I was Deputy Assistant Secretary during the Reagan administration. I had an opportunity to start up a company with Humana Veterans Healthcare Services, and we did a lot of wonderful things. I'm not going to bore you with my background and my history. If you want to see what I did with my misspent youth, you can go to my website. It's poteet4judge.com, and you can see what I did. My wife continues to remind me that I've had 5 failed retirements. I promised her this would be the last one way or another.
Mr.
I ju-
Poteet,
5.
you're
I
3 minutes.
I cannot say no to a challenge, evidently, so I keep getting myself into a lot of trouble, but I'm really enjoying this. I've met a lot of terrific people. Just thank you for giving me an opportunity to say hello, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail and at the March 3rd, the February 5th debate we're going to have over at the PAC. It's going to be a Lincoln Douglas style debate. It should be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Angela Smith.
thank y'all for your time. As the city's general accountant, I'm concerned that a full-time position for an accounting professional will place an unnecessary financial burden on the city. For example, a salary of $42,500 would entail an additional $15,500 in benefits. That's more in benefits alone than what we spent for a full year during extraordinary circumstances for a contracted CPA who specialized in municipal government accounting. I've provided you with a spreadsheet detailing the accounting services contracted since July 2023. And according to our history, the city has only needed 80 hours of professional accounting services annually, except for 2025, during which we were migrating to Edmunds GovTech. Even then, the annual expenditure was only $15,000. City Council has elected to spend about $7 million over the next few years on major infrastructure and parks improvements. As stated in my investment report, I consider these coming months as a time to act conservatively in order to ensure a healthy financial future for the city. I'm thankful to have worked with council members such as yourselves who are very thoughtful and cautious decision makers. The position being addressed tonight has a very broad set of roles and responsibilities, most of which are primary roles and responsibilities of several current employees. I encourage council to more precisely define the position to determine whether it is truly needed, and if it is, then determine funding. In most entities, for example, Goodall Witcher, the position pays for itself by increasing revenue and savings. The city is already paying for a software that is and will be increasingly helpful to staff in producing reports, streamlining financial and payroll processes, and more than we even realize at this time, because we're really just getting started with this product. Certainly, we need accounting professional services. We also need another person on staff. Those in the city's financial department recognize a greater need for an entry-level employee to assist established staff and provide additional customer service. The position could even be part-time and make a powerful impact while remaining a fiscally conservative solution, allowing ample funds for a CPA who could be contracted as needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Roger, Parks?
Good evening. Thank you for your time. I think most of y'all know who I am. I am a property owner within the city limits, so a taxpayer. And I wanted to address this Agenda K, the position that Angela just spoke about. And to give you my perspective, I've spent the last 6 years on the hospital board, very similar role to what y'all on council do. And my view of my job on the hospital board is largely oversight. You know, there's monitoring, there's policy, there's responsibility to the taxpayers. But just like city council does, the hospital board hires an administrator, and their job is to run the city. And I view my job then as to get out of their way and let them do their job. Even after 6 years, I've got no experience. I could not run a hospital. That's why we hire professionals. Adam and Rustin, they're the professionals, and they're very good at their jobs. And the best thing I can do is get out of their way and let them do it. As board members or council members, I think we should listen to what the administration and the employees tell us we need to be doing to help them. Directives should not come from the council or the board down telling the people doing the jobs what they need or what positions need to be created. I think we should listen to the people actually doing the work, let them tell you what you need or what positions need to be done. Then y'all get to decide if you want to facilitate that or not. A few years ago, we did hire a financial officer at the hospital. Now, during that process, again, it was bottom up. It came from the administration to the board, but it was articulated in very great detail, you know, what this position was, why it was needed, the benefits of it, the requirements of the position or the person that was going to fill this position, as well as what the compensation was going to be. And then we as a board agreed to facilitate this position, but we put it into the budget, which is the proper way to handle that. Nobody on the board or the administration ever suggested cutting current employees' salary to make room for a new position. And I think that's just extremely poor leadership to even consider that. Furthermore, it seems to me that putting this as an agenda item with dollar amounts for public discussion during public forums is unprofessional, extremely unethical, and possibly illegal. Compensation personnel should be discussed in private session. And if y'all, do elect to discuss cutting employees' pay, ask yourselves how y'all would respond to that. What kind of culture is that going to develop? And what kind of loyalty do you think that'll instill? Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Next, Robert Payne.
Mayor, Council, my name's Robert Payne. I do have a situation, but I decided not to bring it forth at this time. I'm gonna try a different avenue first.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. I want to say thank you to everybody that's came and spoke this evening in public comments, and we will move on to our agenda items. First of all, we have the consent agenda. And is there anything in the consent agenda anybody would like to pull and discuss? All right. Angela, can you give us our financial report?
Thank you. All right, for December, we billed $126,079.16 for the water utility and a combined utility total of $236,269.05, including the sewer and sanitation services. I invoiced Meridian this week for $7,677 for December water treatment. We received $99,874.63 in sales and use tax on December 12th. Of that total, I allocated $16,645.10 to the Clifton EDC and $16,645.10 to the street sales tax funds, leaving a balance of $66,584.43 in the general fund. Then we received $113,755.14 in sales and use tax on January 9th. Of that total, I'll allocate $18,958.43 to the Clifton EDC and $18,958.43 to the street sales tax funds, leaving a balance of $75,838.28 in the general fund. Our November property taxes came in at $67,212.86 and were posted on December 15th. Property taxes for December came in at $423,560.27, and those were posted on January 7th. I am working with the Texas State Disbursement Unit to update our financial institution data with their system, and I can close our remaining Cadence cash management account as soon as that process is completed. I'm also working on the audit, the Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool Payroll Adjustment Form, monthly and end-of-year reports, income taxes, bank reconciliation reports, and the May 2026 election. I've included in your packets the general ledger trial balance, statement of revenues and expenditures, the fiscal year-end 2025 annual investment report, and the Q1 fiscal year-end 2026 investment report in your packet. Our December interest income totaled $36,718.80. Except for the cash management account, city accounts earned 2.650% interest in December at First National Bank of Bosque County. The cash management account earned 2.71% interest in December. The portfolio earned an average daily net yield of 3.8270% at TexPool. Does anyone have any questions about the financial report or the investment reports?
The 36,000, was that primarily from our certificate money coming in for the bonds?
No, that's the total. I mean, we do have significant interest that we're earning right now on the certificate of obligation because it's such a large amount and because we're getting that really nice 3.827% interest at TexPool. All of those funds are kept at
So
TexPool.
not just the certificate of, but
No,
it's
this is
everything.
the
Okay.
total.
So that's not to hear. Y'all have any questions? Ask. All right, if you'll look, I was just gonna comment you know, when we were discussing budget and putting what we thought anticipated sales tax was gonna be, you'll be pleased to know that we're about 25% through, but we pulled in more than 25% of what we anticipated. So, and we haven't even seen some of our new places' taxes yet, so I think that's great. So we will go on from the consent agenda to discussion of possible action regarding an order of general election for municipalities.
This is just the standard documentation that's required for ordering an election. This will be the May election where we have 3 city council members that are up for renewal or replacement. So we don't have any early voting information yet from the Secretary of the State, so that's not included, but it's not required for this particular document, this date.
So what type of action are we looking for?
We need an approval of this order of election for the dates that are here, the hours, and the main voting location.
Okay.
And I will need everyone's signatures tonight if this passes, please.
All right, so I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the order of general election.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is discussion and possible action approving the interlocal agreement between Bosque County and City of Clifton for the election ordered for May 2nd, 2026.
This is the standard contract that we have with Bosque County, who comes in and actually takes care of all of our elections here. We provide the space and they bring in the equipment, they provide the volunteers, election workers, and do the documentation for us as well. Just as an FYI, because we don't have a price tag on this at the time, the 2025 election expenses totaled $1,629.35. So they do a lot of work for a fair contract price.
All right, I entertain a motion.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement between Bosque County and City of Clifton for the election order for May 2nd, 2026.
Great. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have discussion and possible action on the Sons of the American Legion Post 322's request for $1,000 from hotel motel occupancy tax funds for the SAL yearly chili cook-off scheduled for March 28, 2026. Do we have anybody that's come to speak on that this evening? Okay.
I'm a member down there. I can try to give you my best guess, but I wasn't part of that committee.
You can go ahead. I know we gave $500 last year for the
And
hotel motel.
They did radio ads last year and were able to reach some people out in, I believe it was west that came into town. So I think they're trying to get a few more radio ads spread out to get more people coming in. But they did have success from last year's radio ads. I'm just hoping for more people, I believe.
Okay. All right. So do y'all have any questions that Will might be able to answer? Any discussion? Do you know, do people come stay in the hotel during that time?
They spoke to the people from West that came over at early start.
Yeah.
People have to take the chili pretty seriously. So.
I'm surprised they didn't sleep with the chili. So I'll entertain a motion if there's no further discussion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Sons of the American Legion request for $1,000 hotel occupancy tax funds for the Sons of American Legion yearly chili cook-off scheduled for March 28, 2026.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving along, discussion and possible action on the Bosque Arts Center's request for $4,000 from hotel occupancy tax funds to use for promotion and advertising of the Redneck Tenors event scheduled January 31st, 2026. We've got somebody to come and speak to us on that.
I did. Good evening. My name is Danielle Yabar, and I'm the Finance Director of the Bosque Arts Center. I'm here tonight in place of Deb Finney, who is currently out of town, to speak on the request for the Hotel Motel Grant for the Redneck Tenors, which would be Saturday, January 31st. This is a musical comedy group featuring classically trained veteran artists, but with a twist. It's kind of like Blue Collar Comedy Tour going to Carnegie Hall. We are once again placing advertising in both the Clifton and surrounding areas. Our overnight package was successful last time that we did this. So we've decided to try again to attract overnight visitors here to Clifton with a combination of a hotel and concert ticket that's going to be advertised on Waco TV along with our regular print and radio ads. We are asking for support of approving our $4,000 request.
Okay. Council, do y'all have any questions or discussion? Have y'all been able to review the application? I believe it says previous 3 years hotel room nights have been 14. Do you know if that was 14 each year or 14 in combination of all 3 years?
I believe that is the 14 from our last event. I know we had people from Colorado. I took several of those reservations. We had people from Colorado. We had somebody from Florida also.
Nice.
So we have people all over the place for our last Hotel Motel event.
Okay.
When was that?
That was the summer. Barry Corbin was the last one. I think we paired up and did the hotel combination.
Package.
Yes.
And is it at our hotel?
Yep,
on
it's going to be here
Sixth?
at the Velcomin. We have a block of 15 rooms. We sold 14 over 15 last time, so it went over very well.
Okay.
So,
All right. Any more questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Bosque Arts Center's request for $4,000 from the hotel occupancy tax funds for the use for promotion and advertising of the Redneck Tenors event scheduled January 31st, 2026.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming. Next on the agenda is our second reading of the resolution 251101 for the Clifton Horse Association grant for $129,400 for the new stadium bleachers as part of the arena improvement project. Please.
Resolution number 251101, resolution of the City Council of the City of Clifton, Texas, approving the Clifton Economic Development Corporation grant of $129,400 to Clifton Horse Show Association. Whereas the Clifton Economic Development Corporation, the Clifton EDC, Board of Directors has determined that a grant in the amount of $129,400 to Clifton Horse Show Association for new stadium bleachers as part of the arena improvement project would be consistent with the purposes of the Clifton EDC and would be beneficial to the City of Clifton. And whereas the Clifton EDC has advertised its intent to grant the funds to Clifton Horse Show Association as required by law. And whereas the Clifton EDC Board has conducted a public hearing on its intent to provide $129,400 grant to Clifton Horse Show Association and received no opposition to the grant. Now therefore, as provided by law, the City Council of the City of Clifton acts to authorize the following. Section 1, approval of a grant in the amount of $129,400 to Clifton Horse Show Association.
Thank you. So, next is discussion and possible action regarding Resolution 251101, approving a grant of $129,400 to the Clifton Horse Show Association upon the first reading of the resolution.
That should be second reading, I'm sorry.
Second, oh yeah.
Oh.
I should have known that. Upon the second reading. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve Resolution 251101, approving a grant of $129,400 to the Clifton Horse Show Association upon the second reading of the resolution.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have a presentation of city and, oh gosh, I'm sorry. Next, sorry Craig. Discussion and possible action regarding the purchase of dual chlorine system equipment and installation in the amount of $44,295 payable from our certificate of obligation.
What this is, council, we brought this to y'all a while back. This is kind of one of the first projects in the CO. It'll get the dual, we currently have single chlorinators up there, but TCEQ has required in the past for us to have double chlorinators. So when one goes out, the other one kicks in, then you change one out. So this is, we brought this to you, so we got 3 quotes. I put those in your packets. This is the lowest quote.
Y'all have any questions on double chlorinators?
If you do, we'll ask Josh and Chris, because they're an expert on it.
Yes, they are.
I'm excited.
Yep.
We are appreciative of them and the job they do. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the dual chlorine system equipment and installation in the amount of $44,295 payable from the Certificate of Obligation 2025.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have a presentation of city and airport publicity video. Mr. McDowell?
It was interesting, Jack Cameron sent us a video about 2 weeks ago, and a YouTuber came in from California and flew into New Mexico and then flew to our airport. But anyway, it was just a nice video. It promoted the city, it promoted the airport. It was 37 minutes. I think he squished it down to about 7 minutes. Just kind of show you the highlights. It shows some good downtown scenes. It shows them the approach coming in on the airport. So we just like to show everybody and anybody watching just kind of some highlights of the airport. And it was just good promotion for the city and the airport. Chris?
Flight of 2 Arrows, 18 miles west, about runway 32.
Clifton Municipal Airport, better known as Eisenhower Field, has quietly served Central Texas aviation since 1966. Built by the city of Clifton, this small general aviation airport was created to give Bosque County an aviation connection. The rural airports are vital lifelines for businesses, agriculture, and personal travel. From the start, Clifton wasn't meant to be a commercial airline hub. Instead, it became a place for private pilots, crop dusters, and small aircraft moving people and goods across Texas. With a single runway, the airport was perfectly sized for general aviation. In 1983, the airport entered a new chapter when the current FBO opened on the field. What started as a small operation grew into a cornerstone of the airport, providing fuel, maintenance, and the kind of hospitality that makes pilots go out of their way to stop in, which we'll definitely talk about a little more later. Over the years, the FBO helped build a reputation that spread far beyond Bosque County, turning the quiet municipal airport into a favorite stop for traveling pilots. Like many small town airports, Clifton Municipal has survived economic shifts, industry changes, and even nationwide slowdowns. But it has remained active thanks to the steady local support and continued improvement, which is obvious when you come here. Grant and infrastructure updates help keep the airport in great condition, which provides a great resource for both pilots and the community.
Clifton traffic, Arrow 39 Hotel entering left downwind for 32 Clifton. Clifton traffic, Arrow 3469 is in space, runway 32.
Now there are no instrument approaches, so make sure that if there is weather here, have an alternate. But speaking of weather, what is it like here in Clifton, Texas? Well, it has classic Central Texas flying weather. Good most of the year with a few seasonal considerations pilots should know.
Clifton traffic, Arrow 39 Hotel turning left base, 32 Clifton. Clifton traffic, Arrow 39 Hotel turning final for 32 Clifton.
Next, spring brings some of the best flying weather with mild temperatures and green scenery, but it's also thunderstorm season. Expect buildups, gusty winds, and occasional convective activity, particularly in the late afternoon. Now, fall is often ideal for general aviation. Cooler temps, lower humidity, and generally stable conditions. It's one of the best times of the year to fly into Clifton. Now, winters are mild with daytime highs typically in the 50s to 60s, but cold fronts can bring gusty north winds, so make sure you watch out for that.
Clifton traffic, Arrow 34600 is down and clear 32.
And as we discussed before, there is an FBO on the field called Clifton Aero, which does provide a pilot's lounge, and they are extremely friendly.
Clifton traffic, Arrow 39 Hotel clear of 32 Clifton.
As you'll see shortly, there is self-serve fuel in the same area as transient parking. And coming from California, prices were about $1 cheaper, which was amazing for us. And no, there is no cafe on the field, but the town is about 10 minutes away. And again, with the crew car, it's really easy to get some food.
14 minutes.
10 minutes. We're excited to be out here. We're gonna go check out the restrooms, the pilot's lounge, and I think we're gonna go get something to eat.
I think so. We're gonna try to get a crew car.
Yeah, so they do have crew cars here, and they have some good food apparently. But yeah, right now, it's the calm before the storm over there, but we're enjoying this. Like I said, it's beautiful here, and we heard well, we didn't hear, I read on 4Flight that it was a very scenic approach.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, it definitely was really.
Besides the chaos of like the turbulence and the radios, but outside of that, it's very beautiful here. I didn't actually, Justin's girlfriend Lauren talked to a gentleman, Carl, right? He took care of us and he got us this as a crew car. So this is what we'll be using because it is 5 of us and a doggo. And so it's going to be perfect and really nice. Again, I didn't expect something this nice, like this big. So it's going to be sweet. And it looks clean and really they just said I think they put air in the tires. and go. But Clifton is not only the largest city in the county at 2 square miles, it is also the Norwegian capital of Texas. Matter of fact, the word Texas in Norwegian means crazy, wild, or chaotic. About 30 to 40% of the population, which according to the last year's census was about 3,500 people, can trace their heritage back to Norway. Clifton celebrates their Nordic ties with an annual Norwegian country Christmas tour, held the first Saturday of December. Oh, and speaking of the county, so we researched up and down what the pronunciation is. I initially called it Boss County, but then we heard it was possibly Bosque County, and then another pronunciation was Bosque County. If you live in the county, let us know how to pronounce it, so at least we don't sound like tourists when we visit next time.
Okay. What do y'all think?
I think our airport is a treasure, but in an effort to be like Wings, we should get a cafe. Did y'all watch Wings?
Yes.
Great show.
We'll have Tim cook.
That was very recent.
Yes.
The new trash can was out there.
Yes.
And the Christmas tree was up.
The
Haley's ornaments were
ornaments were up there.
So, if y'all have not been out to the airport or anyone, I would encourage you to go out there. It is a gem for us to have in Bosque County, and we have a wonderful airport manager. And it's something for us to be very proud of, and we're happy to have it. So, thank you to Chris and David. Chris helped, the chief helped put that all, cut it down, and Haley might have been a part of that too, I'm sure. So, thank you. Alrighty. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action approving funding the salary for the new finance specialist position beginning March 1st, 2026. Line items to transfer from are 01-501-0202, accounting professional, $15,000. 01-510-0101, city secretary salary, $11,666. And 01-623-0101, Main Street salary, $5,872, for a total of $32,538. So, do y'all have some discussion?
Okay. I have a few questions that I think I know answers to, but just for clarity, what, where's this coming from?
Where's what coming from?
This, like,
The need for this position? The need for this position is coming from, we had a professional accountant that we were using, and it is to create a little more time for the city secretary to do other jobs. It's, she doesn't have enough time to do everything that needs to be done. We discussed it, and we've even discussed it with the city secretary, and when we discussed having this, if y'all remember a couple of meetings ago, that it was discussed, and she even said we needed somebody. So that was where, does that answer y'all's question? Is that helpful?
May I clarify?
Absolutely.
I was asked if we needed a certified a certified public accountant? And I said yes, because we need that level of expertise. For W-2s, taxes, audit, documentation, like end-of-year journal entries and things like that, that are accounting specialties, specialty type of accounting. And that's what our certified public accountants and bookkeepers, Lisa Pressure, did this for years for us with a budget of $10,000. And then since 2023, Mark Kaiser's been the certified public accountant doing those things. So and you'll have a breakdown of how many hours that's actually taken to get us to produce those each year.
And with him doing that, it was working fine?
Yes. Well,
Trying to think of how to be concise. Your job currently, how much time, I feel like we have talked about this a little bit, but like your city secretary job versus like the finance side of things, what's your time, like in a percentage, what would you say?
it's really difficult to say because quite a number of those activities, and Sybil can attest to that, having served in that position, are tied together. So if you're reporting to the state for your retirement, for sales and use tax, and those types of things, you're filing the report, but you're also paying the tax at the same time. So there's not a separation. For the work with the audit, right now I'm working with on the audit for the last fiscal year, but I don't just sit down and do all of that over the course of several weeks. Throughout the year, if there's a new contract, it's logged, and I make a copy and it goes in the audit file. If there's a new lease, if there is a new piece of equipment, it's added to the insurance schedules, we turn in all the paperwork for that, but it's also recorded for the audit files. That's the only way that you can really effectively, do that job is to work on it throughout the year. As you handle that piece of paper, you save it. When we make a grant payment, it goes not only into the accounts payable files, it goes into the grant, that particular grants file, and it goes into a file for the auditors, because they're going to ask for all of those documents when they submit their audit list each year. The job description that I've seen for the position, in my discussions with David, he said it would be all the financials, all of the accounts payable, all of the accounts receivable, bank reconciliations, and anything that was financially based. Well, our office manager pays the majority of our bills. I do a lot of the specialized things, like when the hotel occupancy tax funds come in, I cut that, I take care of those payments because I'm also having to log it for the reports that go to the state every year, and, keep everything available for fund balances for city council, so we know, how much is in that account, how much has been committed to events and organizers through the year, how much has actually been doled out so far. So a lot of these things are really interwoven. The accounts receivable is primarily done by the utility clerk. She takes the bill payments, she processes them in the payment window in Edmunds. She turns around, gives the receipt to the customer at that time. We have some other accounts receivable when we receive funds from the Ronstadt Foundation. When we have property taxes come in, I take care of those so that I can build these reports for city council and let y'all know how we're, where we stand with those types of things. So, I want to get that information to David and to council as soon as possible. So I take care of some of those big and unique types of accounts receivable processes and units. But, a big concern that Cassie and I shared is that we have a very good process of taking care of the financial system in the office and sharing responsibility. She does a lot on the airport side with leases and making sure their insurance is turned in, and she helps Tim with the grant paperwork. So, we've divided these systems up, and it's working. We just need occasional, really highly professional skills to provide some of the documents and guidance that we need, or process things like our payroll, not payroll taxes on a payroll period, but end of year. The W-2s, our 1099s. We have 31 employees, and we have more than that in the summertime with seasonal workers, and all of those have to be accounted for, when it comes end of the year, and we've got to get those W-2s and 1099s out to our contract laborers. So, and our contract professionals. But, that we haven't had discussions with anyone on how we are performing these tasks, what our routines are, what's working, and what we need assistance with. And primarily the issue that she and I are both dealing with is being pulled away from these financial tasks and payroll and things like that to go answer the phone or go to the window and take a payment from a utility customer, to take the phone calls right now because our municipal court clerk's out on extended leave and there's nobody picking up the line there. Judge Hightower took his phone, had those calls forwarded to his phone for a couple of days, and after receiving 500 calls, he stopped. That's the type of volume we deal with people walking in the office and driving up to the window and making phone calls each day. So, having someone who can assist with, entry-level type tasks and learn to cross-train, learn some of these processes so that we have help, at least be knowledgeable, basically knowledgeable of the functioning in the office and in these routines, so that when we have one person out with an injury and one person out with a death in the family over the course of 2 weeks, we're not down to the new employee and me trying to take care of every department, aside from Public Works and the police department.
Well, I remember talking about that a few meetings back, about getting you some help, but if I missed it, I don't recall ever hearing anything about reducing salaries. And then, so I don't know that I'm in favor of that. That's just my...
So is there an actual job description for the finance specialist?
Yeah, we gave that to y'all last night. I did not put it back in the packet.
I need to see that again.
Do what?
Might need to see that again.
I'm hearing, to go on Mr. Park's comments, just about, I'm just thinking through hurt morale, I'm thinking clear communication is great, but I'm also hearing no matter, the workload is too much, no matter what in there, whether it's so what is the city secretary's job? Because to me, I know there's a lot of administrative tasks, and then there's this financial, no matter what the case is, it's too much. So, and I'm hearing from Mr. Parks that the staff needs to recommend. So, I mean, we have heard you, but there's other staff that have an opinion, so that's important. So I feel like it's a larger conversation that I think I have questions, but it's I need other, I've heard Angela's, and I'm thankful that you shared with us, but I feel like there's other voices to hear.
I would add to be very cautious about creating a break, changing job responsibilities and roles, because as our type of government, the state statute dictates the responsibilities and the legal liability of the city secretary and the city treasurer. So you take those responsibilities away and give them to someone else who is not working together with the city secretary, city treasurer, then you put that person in a great deal of legal risk. Because if somebody doesn't do their job properly, the liability falls on someone who no longer has any control over those tasks. I wouldn't want to be in that position. If I don't have anything to do with the financials anymore, and I don't have anything to do with, certain other tasks that the state statute says are the city secretary's responsibility, I don't want to be held accountable for them if I don't have even any way of knowing what's going on. And that, to me, that's how this has been described in my conversations with David.
Well, the conversations that we had was basically dividing the position between city secretary and redefining the city secretary and redefining the financials. And that was the conversation that we had on that. But when council met, they directed myself and the mayor to go through the budget and look at, see where the money is and to see where it should be allocated from, or whatever. And this is, y'all can say yes, no, go back and do it again. This is y'all's decision. This is what y'all told us to go do. So.
And we can also have a call meeting and decide, and Angela can have the decision if she wants it discussed in public or if she would like it discussed in executive session, how this would be done and other reasons why it is being done.
I think I would like a called meeting and like some more information and discussion before we make a decision tonight.
All right. Can I have that in a form of a motion?
Do we need to table this item?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need to table it until the called meeting or?
No, we'll table.
Just table it and
Just table it.
Okay. I move to table the discussion, possible action, approving funding of the salary for the new finance specialist position.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. Not next week, but week after next. Does everybody's calendars look good to have a called meeting? And I will talk to Angela to see if she would like that in forum or an executive session. So we're looking at the 22nd, 27th, the week of the 26th.
Ooh, does it have to be on a Tuesday?
It's a called meeting. We can have it whenever y'all would like to.
The Lady Cubs are playing West.
You know how important West.
Yes, we do. We do.
Well, I don't know if everybody can make it, so.
Depends on what day.
So what would either Monday or Wednesday, the 26th or the 28th, look like?
Same.
28th would be better, but it looks like both would work.
So 28th would be better for you though,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
26th, 28th, which Wednesday be best?
Wednesday work, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever.
Wednesday?
Whatever y'all decide.
Okay. All right, so we will have a called meeting on January 28th, and we will discuss the tabled agenda item then. Last and foremost is adjournment. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Meeting adjourned at 6:58. Thank you all very much.